The galaxy was quiet that night. Stars burned softly, planets moved in silence, and nothing seemed unusual. But in the middle of this calm, a single sound broke the peace. It was not loud, but it was sharp enough to cut through the darkness. It was a call for help, a message full of fear, sent from a dying world. The Elvari people were known across space as peaceful, gentle, and calm. They never attacked anyone, never stole land, and never created war. They believed in light, music, and harmony. But tonight, their home was burning. Their sky was filled with fire. Their people were screaming. And their leaders had no idea how many minutes they had left. The message they sent was simple. Just 7 words. Please. Someone help us. We are dying. Message spread across many star systems. Space stations picked it up. Battleships received it. Trade ships recorded it. But no one answered. Everyone knew who was attacking the Elvari, the Dravic Empire, a brutal force that destroyed anything weaker than them. They did not want new land. They wanted to remove those who could not fight. Every alien council across the galaxy watched the message in silence. They felt sorry, they felt pain, but they also felt fear. The Dravic Empire was not an enemy anyone wanted to face. Their ships were huge. Their soldiers were cruel. Their technology was dark and powerful. Fighting them meant certain death. Some alien leaders whispered, "If we help them, we will be next." Others said their fate is already decided. We cannot save them. Some even turned off their screens, pretending they never heard anything, but far away, on the edge of known space. Inside a hidden human outpost, the message reached another set of ears. Humans were not part of any galactic alliance. They lived quietly. They explored alone. Many aliens believed humans were still primitive. Some thought humans were too emotional, but none of them understood the truth. Humans had seen war, real war, hard war, war that burned nations and broke worlds. Humans knew pain, fear, and loss. But they also knew something else: how to rise again, how to fight when everything seemed impossible, how to survive what others could not. Inside the human outpost, alarms rang as the message played. Officers stopped talking. Soldiers stood up. Engineers paused their work. Everyone listened. A young technician repeated the words softly, afraid of how real they sounded. "Please, someone help us. We are dying." For a moment, the room was silent. Then the commander stepped forward. His eyes were sharp, calm, and full of something no one could describe. Strength, anger, duty. No one knew, but when he spoke, the entire station froze. "We will answer." His voice was steady, but his words made the room tremble. Humans were not supposed to get involved. Their rules said they should stay neutral. Their leaders told them to avoid galactic politics. But the commander did not care. That message was not about politics. It was about life. "We cannot ignore this," he continued. "If we do nothing, we are no better than those who turned away." Within minutes, the entire outpost came alive. Soldiers prepared for departure. Engineers activated engines. Pilots ran checks on their ships. The human fleet was not the biggest in the galaxy, but it was sharp, fast, and powerful. Every ship was built with purpose. Every system was designed with focus. As the human fleet launched from the dark side of the moon, the galaxy barely noticed. No alarms sounded. No sensors detected them. Humans were experts at moving silently through the stars. The Elvari home planet was many systems away, but the humans pushed their engines harder, faster, far beyond normal limits. They did not stop. They did not rest. The commander stood in front of his screen, watching every star that passed by. He whispered to himself, "Hold on. We are coming." Back on the Elvari world, the situation was getting worse. Their cities were on fire. Their people were running through streets filled with smoke. The Dravic ships hovered above like dark monsters, dropping fire on anything that moved. The Elvari defense shields were weak. Their small ships were destroyed. Their leaders tried to stay calm, but fear was growing inside them. Many Elvari looked to the sky, hoping for any sign of help. but they saw nothing. Only flames, smoke, and falling shadows. One child asked his mother, "Is someone coming?" She did not know the answer, so she said nothing. She only held him close. Hours passed, and the Elvari government sent another message. "Please, if anyone is listening, we cannot survive much longer." That message was heard by dozens of alien species, but everyone stayed quiet. They told themselves they had no choice. They told themselves they could not risk their own people. They convinced themselves that silence was the best decision. But then, something happened. In the dark of space, above the Elvari star system, a ripple appeared. Sensors picked up a strange shift. A shadow moved across the stars. A fleet came out of slipspace, silent, fast, and precise. The screens in the Elvari command room lit up. Their eyes widened. Their hearts froze. Humans had arrived. No one expected it. No one believed it. But there they were, black ships with bright blue engine trails. Moving like ghosts, cutting through darkness with purpose. The Elvari leader whispered, "Humans. Why are they here?" Another leader answered, "To save us. Or to die trying." In the human flagship, the commander sent a single message to the entire Elvari world. "Step back. We heard your call. We will handle this." The Elvari stared in disbelief. They had never seen humans in war. They had only heard stories. Stories of strength. Stories of impossible bravery. Stories that sounded too heroic to be real, but now, those stories were standing above their burning world. The Dravik Empire noticed the new fleet. They laughed. "Only humans? They dare stand against us." They had no idea what was coming. The human commander activated all systems. The fleet spread out like wings. Lights dimmed. Weapons charged. Engines roared. And as humanity prepared to enter the battlefield, the galaxy, for the first time in centuries, held its breath. Asterisk, the moment the human fleet spread across the sky, the entire battlefield changed. The Dravik Empire had come with thousands of ships, dark, heavy, and filled with weapons that could break mountains. Their engines glowed red like fire. Their armor looked like black stone. Everything about them screamed danger. The Elvari, in their underground shelters, watched the human ships appear like silent shadows. They had never seen anything like it. Human ships were smaller than the Dravik cruisers, but they looked sharper, faster, and far more focused. The design was clean, smooth, and almost frightening. Inside the Dravik command ship, their leader laughed loudly. "Is this a joke?" he said. "Humans dare enter our battlefield with only a small fleet?" His officers laughed with him. To them, humans were weak. They heard stories that humans were emotional, unpredictable, and fragile. But they had never met a human in war. They had never seen what humans could truly do when they fought for someone in danger. The human commander, standing on the bridge of his flagship, watched the enemy fleet with calm eyes. His hands rested behind his back. His voice was steady, quiet, but full of power. "Lock targets," he ordered. "Targets locked," said the weapons officer. "Do not fire yet," the commander said. "Let them make the first mistake." The Dravik did exactly that. The enemy fired first. Thousands of red beams shot across the darkness. They were strong enough to melt steel. They moved like burning rivers, cutting through space and aiming straight for the human fleet. The Elvari cried out in fear, believing the humans would be destroyed instantly, but something unexpected had happened. The human ships vanished, not exploded, not destroyed, not damaged, vanished. They turned into dark silhouettes, disappearing into the shadows between the stars. The Dravik blasts missed everything. "What? Where did they go?" An enemy officer shouted. The Dravik sensors tried to find human ships, but they found nothing. Their scanners went blind. It was as if the humans became part of space itself. It was humanity's silent war tactic, something no other species had mastered. Humans did not just hide. They became ghosts. The enemy ships kept firing wildly, trying to hit anything they could, but their shots only hit empty space. The battlefield turned into chaos. Then, out of nowhere. The first human attack came. A single railgun fired. It was not a loud shot. It was not bright. It did not look dangerous, but the effect was terrifying. A massive Dravik cruiser, 10 times larger than a human battleship, split into 2 pieces. No explosion, no smoke. Just a clean cut, like a knife slicing through paper. Asterisk, the Dravik command ship suddenly went silent. Every alien watching the battlefield froze. The human commander spoke softly. Begin. The human fleet moved as one. Silent, smooth, deadly human drones launched from small ports. They flew like silver arrows, weaving through enemy fire. They did not move randomly. They moved with intelligence. They dodged every blast, slipped through enemy shields, and pierced enemy engines. One by one, Dravik ships began to fall. A destroyer lost its thrusters. A cruiser lost its shields. A battleship lost its navigation. Everything was happening too fast. The Dravik leader screamed, "This is impossible. How are humans doing this?" But even he had no answer. The Alvari watched from their screens, eyes wide, hands shaking. Their hope grew with every second. "They are fighting for us," an Alvari elder whispered. "They came for us." More human ships moved in. Fighters cut through enemy formations. Bombers launched plasma torpedoes that hit with perfect accuracy. Every human shot mattered. Every attack had purpose. The Dravik Empire finally understood something they never believed. Humans were not weak. Humans were precision. A Dravik captain shouted, "Retreat. Pull back the front line." But it was too late. Human marines boarded 2 enemy ships at the same time. Their armor was white and silver. Their helmets glowed with blue lights. They moved fast, without fear. The sound of their steps echoed inside enemy corridors. The Dravik soldiers tried to stop them. But human marines fought like they had trained their whole lives for this moment. Their shields blocked incoming fire. Their weapons hit with perfect aim. They never missed within minutes. 2 massive Dravik warships fell under human control. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. But just when it looked like victory was near, the sky changed again. A huge shadow appeared behind the Dravik fleet. So massive, it covered part of the star behind it. The Alvari screen shook from the energy readings. The Dravik Empire had brought their hidden weapon, a world killer ship, a monstrous vessel built to destroy entire planets with one shot. Its reactor glowed red like a dying sun. Its front cannon opened like a giant mouth. The Alvari gasped in terror. "That ship. It can destroy our whole world," one of them whispered. The human commander stared at the new threat. For the first time, his face turned serious and cold. "How did we miss this?" The human sensor officer said. The commander did not blink. "Because they wanted us to miss it." The Dravik leader began to laugh again. "You thought you could defeat us? Humans? Watch your failure." The world killer ship pointed its cannon at the Alvari home planet. Alarms rang across every shelter. Children cried. Leaders panicked. Families held each other tight. The cannon charged, building power fast. The Alvari leader whispered, "This is the end." But the human commander lifted his head. "No," he said quietly. "This is not the end." He turned to his crew. "Prepare the Titan class." Everyone froze. "The Titan?" the officer asked. "Sir, no one has used it in battle. We will use it now," the commander said. "We have no other choice." Lights dimmed across the flagship. A massive energy surge echoed through the human fleet. Somewhere deep inside the ship, a giant engine awakened. Like something powerful and ancient opening its eyes, the deep engine inside the human flagship continued to awaken, shaking the entire ship with a heavy, rising hum. Every human officer felt the vibration through the floor. Every screen flickered for a moment. Every soldier held their breath. The Titan class was not an ordinary human ship. It was not even meant to be used except in the worst moment of war. It was a legend, something whispered in training halls and old war stories, eh? Weapon of last hope. A weapon humans themselves feared. Yet today, they had no choice. The Dravik world killer ship continued to charge its massive supercannon. Red energy spun like a storm, bright enough to light the sky of the Elvari planet. If that cannon fired, millions would die in seconds. Inside their underground shelters, the Elvari held hands and prayed not to gods, but to anything listening. They hoped someone, anyone, would save them, above them, in the darkness of space. Humanity prepared to answer. Titan core at 40%, the engineer reported. Sweat on his forehead. Bring it to full power, the commander said. The entire human bridge came alive with urgent motion. Officers moved fast. Pilots locked positions. Shield operators braced for impact. Commander, the sensor officer said, eyes wide. The Dravik supercannon will reach full charge in 60 seconds. The commander nodded once. Then we have 60 seconds to save an entire world. The galaxy watches across the galaxy. Thousands of alien ships secretly watch the battle from far distances. They did not join. They did not fight. But they watched in silence, their screens glowing with the image of human ships facing an impossible enemy. Most of them expected humans to die bravely. None of them expected what happened next. The Titan class awakens. The flagship's hull opened. A huge mechanical platform rose from deep inside the ship. Lights flashed bright blue, brighter, brighter, until the sky around the ship glowed. The Titan cannon extended slowly. Like a sleeping giant stretching for the first time in years, Elvari technicians watching from their command room covered their mouths in shock. What? What is that? It is human technology, another whispered. Something we have never seen before. The Titan cannon locked into position. Core at 70%, the engineer announced. Human commander stared at the time. 50 seconds. Left. Dravik fear spreads inside the Dravik command ship. Their leader finally stopped laughing. He leaned forward, narrow eyes squinting at the human flagship. What are they doing? He asked. No one answered. For the first time in Dravik history, they felt something they never felt before. Fear. Their sensor officer shouted, "We cannot identify the weapon. It is off the scale." The world killer ship, still charging its main cannon, pointed directly at the Elvari planet. Its red core glowed hotter, shaking with unstable energy. 30 seconds left. The final moments begin. Core at 100%. The engineer yelled. The lights inside the human flagship dimmed. Power diverted to the Titan. The ship groaned like it was holding a mountain on its back. The human commander took a deep breath. Open fire, he said. A massive tremor shook the entire ship. Even the space around it rippled like water. The Titan cannon began to glow white, so bright it almost looked like a newborn star forming in front of the fleet. Sir, weapons officer said, voice shaking. The Titan is ready to release. The commander stared at the world killer ship. Do it. The shot that shook the universe. The Titan cannon fired, but it did not fire like a normal weapon. It did not shoot a simple beam. It released a wave of pure energy, white, silent, and terrifying. It did not roar. It did not explode. It simply appeared, cutting through space faster than the Dravik ships could even process. The Dravik supercannon fired at the same time, releasing a massive red beam toward the Elvari planet. The two beams met. For a moment, the entire galaxy saw a flash. White, red, then pure silence. The shockwave spread across space, shaking every ship, every sensor, every watcher. And when the light faded, the Dravik world killer ship was split into two perfect halves. It did not explode. It did not melt. It simply broke apart like a cracked shell. The Dravik leader stood frozen, unable to speak. His officers trembled. Their sensors crashed. Their ships lost formation. Fear became panic. Retreat. The Dravik commander finally screamed, "Retreat now." Their ships scattered like insects. What was supposed to be a proud empire suddenly became a frightened shadow. Humanity had changed everything in one single shot. The Elvari realized the truth. on the Alvari homeworld. Screens blinked with the image of the destroyed world killer. Children stopped crying. Elders slowly stood up. Families walked out of shelters in disbelief. The sky was dark. But safe one Alvari boy looked up and whispered, "The humans saved us." Message to the galaxy inside the human flagship. The commander watched the Dravik retreat. He did not smile. He did not celebrate. He simply opened a communication channel to the entire system. His voice was calm, strong, and unforgettable. "To the Alvari," he said, "you are safe now." He paused, letting his words carry through the stars. To the Dravik, he continued, and to anyone else listening, remember this. His eyes were sharp. No one cries for help while humanity is here. The message echoed across systems, bouncing from ship to ship, world to world. Species who once feared the Dravik now whispered the same words. When humanity joined the war, every star felt the shock. The ending that marks a beginning, the human fleet slowly turned away, engines glowing softly in the dark. They did not wait for thanks. They did not ask for reward. They came because someone needed help. And when humans heard a cry for help, they answered as the human ships jumped into slipspace. Leaving a silent shimmer behind them, the galaxy realized something new. Humans were not just survivors, not just fighters, not just warriors. They were protectors, and the universe would never forget the day they proved it.